Welcome to Catalyst Conversations, the podcast where we spark powerful change in women's wealth. I'm Hadriana, a wealth coach, counselor, and strategist, and each week we dive into the conversations, strategies, and stories that help women confidently create the life they've always dreamed of. So grab your favorite bevy, settle in, and let's get started on transforming your relationship with money. This is Catalyst Conversations, igniting change in women's wealth. Let's spark the conversation. Well, today it's all about faith and finances. Welcome to Catalyst Conversations, where we are creating a spark of change in women's wealth. And I wanted to take this episode to talk about how we can align our faith and our finances and how it really supercharges our results and our experiences along our wealth journey. So let's dive into faith and finances. Now, please understand that this is not about any one religion. It's not about necessarily any one particular persuasion, but it is about how a spiritual root, a spiritual foundation just extrapolates your results with wealth exponentially. It stretches it, it multiplies it, and not just in the results, as in the dollars and cents, the numbers of wealth, but in your experience with wealth. Because what I know for a fact from my own experience is that there is often a conflict that exists in how we interact with money and how we interact with our faith. I can think of a few religious persuasions or belief systems that, on the one hand, exemplify that wealth is great, and on the other hand, say that wealth is a problem, at least in the way it's been explained. And I have come to live that conflict. I have direct experience with that conflict, and it has just messed me up. It has messed with my head. It has messed with my results. It has me questioning everything to the point where I I was both driven to create wealth and driven to avoid wealth. Well, guess what? There's no wealth. Nothing was being realized. I could not see the results that I was hoping for. In fact, I should say I saw the results because even as I was creating it, I was eliminating it. I remember this one client who had a similar conflict. There was a similar dissonance in her wealth creation experience to the point where she was creating the most revenue in her business at the point where she had me work with her. And at the same time, she was seeing the least amount of growth, that is sustained revenue, sustained wealth. She was making all this money and she couldn't see where it was going for the life of her, but she knew her savings were not increasing. She still wasn't able to invest and she was not paying her debt down. The results that she was expecting now that she was making all this money was in direct opposition to what was her reality. So it dawned on both of us as we were going through this by asking questions and peeling the layers back. She was literally, but unconsciously, going out of her way to avoid the accumulation of money and create lasting wealth because she had a spirit rooted aversion to that accumulation based on her experiences. Now, that unconscious drive is so powerful, one, because it's happening without our conscious knowledge, but also because it informs everything. We're taking actions, we're doing things, and we don't even realize it, but it's informing all our decisions, all of the opportunities that are coming our way, and it is sabotaging us. So I want us in this episode to really take a look at where we can find opportunities to bring alignment to our belief systems, our spiritual belief systems, and our wealth journey. It's important to understand that they are not in conflict. I have yet to find, well, I mean, there are so many religions out there, but I think the general, more mainstream belief systems, I have yet to find one that is in actual opposition to living a life of wellness, wealth, prosperity, and being the best. I have to say that not all of us will have the experience of being the richest anything anywhere. That's not for everybody because that's not how our societies are built. But if you remove the element of comparison, I believe that in every situation that we're placed, in every echelon of society where we are blessed to fit in and fill in, we all have the experience of being wealthy when we integrate our faith and belief systems into that life experience. So I want to promise you this. In this episode, I really want to share some clarity. I want to give you some clarity on how you can integrate faith with your finances. I want to share with you some spiritual principles and some practical steps that'll help you to do so. So, come on, let's dive right in. Let's talk about faith as a foundation for wealth. First things first. Wealth is not just about money. And if you've read my book or you've listened to any of my content in the past, I share with you that the root of the word wealth, it actually means wellness. And I stand on this principle. I consider it a principle. We all have the right and are given the opportunity to be well. Wealth is wellness. And it is not a destination that we get to, it is a life experience made up of everyday choices. So, wealth is not just about money, but it has elements involved here of stewardship, which is something, if you are of a Christian persuasion or other faith based belief systems, you are aware of the idea of us as caretakers, as co creators, as managers of all the resources that we've been given, whether it's money, Mother Nature, other human relationships. We are caretakers of each other and of all the provisions that have been placed on this earth for us. So understand that when we're talking about wealth and faith, we're not talking about just the dollars and cents of the wealth experience. We're talking about being managers of everything that has been placed here for us to interact with, to improve, to contribute to. That is wealth. And many, many faith traditions teach that wealth is a tool, it is not the ultimate destination. Wealth is one of the things that we're going to use to create and realize our life purpose. Understand that money should never be the ultimate goal. And if we're leading with that energy, of I need money, I need money, I need more money. It's like if you're in a relationship or if you're thinking of being in a relationship, you see that other person over there, that you really want to get to know better, and you start dogging them, stalking them. I want you, I want you, I need you, I need you, you must be mine, you must be mine, come on, be mine. What's gonna happen? It's just gonna run away. That perspective, somebody special, turns into vapor because it's really repelled by that desperate energy. We're not running after money. We are using it as it's been given in the best way possible so that we can realize our highest potential and our spiritually defined purpose. So, from a faith based perspective, we understand that managing our money well is actually an expression of our gratitude and our faith. Here's the thing: Money is that tool that was given to us so that we can realize our purpose, live a life, have access to these experiences that make our life worth living. In saying that, when you are given such a gift, using it well is an expression of how grateful you are for that gift. And that's what it is. It's not something that you created, it's not something that you invented yourself. The resources that we need to live our best life, literally, it's not an expression of worth. It is a gift that has been provided to help you live that best life. So when we make decisions to use our money well, we are actually expressing gratitude for the opportunity, for the gift that wealth is, and it becomes an expression of our faith. So let's do a bit of a mindset shift here. Money is a resource that we should manage wisely, and it should not be the source of stress or shame. It should not be an expression of gratitude or blessings. It is simply a resource, and when we manage it well, we get the opportunity to live purposeful, well defined, and well refined lives. So, work through these elements of, that faith based perspective of wealth and wellness, and use faith as a foundation for your wealth journey. And then we can talk about how we now can align our wealth with our faith values, because they don't have to be in competition. Because you're wealthy does not mean you're bad. And I'll say it again, because you're wealthy does not mean you're bad. I remember growing up, anybody who was wealthy was automatically under suspicion. Like, what did you do? How did you make that happen? There was also the predetermined, I guess, personality option. You see somebody who has money and automatically you think, that's not a good person. Oh, that person is greedy. That person did something that was kind of, sinister to get that money. Or that person is not generous. There are so many negative connotations that we've associated with wealth that we fail to realize that wealth is not in opposition to your values. In fact, I still firmly believe that money magnifies what's already there. So if you have been gifted the resource of money and you're just a horrible person, you will just be horrible magnified, because now you have the resource that's going to spread that horror more widely. If you get money and you are vain, you're just going to be more vain. So you'll spend more of that precious resource on vanity. If you get wealth, if you have access to that gift of money and you are a generous person, you become more generous. If you are someone who values education, you will put that money just magnifies. So I want you to understand that if your faith values are intact, wealth is going to be that thing that helps you 10x it, 20x it, broaden it, allow others to be blessed by it. You don't have to worry about. So let's talk about three key ways we can integrate faith into our wealth decisions so that you don't lose yourself or your faith in the wealth journey, but it becomes an integrative part of your whole wealth experience. So, one, we need to earn with integrity. And we have to be aligned in such a way that the way we earn money, if you're working 9 to 5 and what have you, it has to align with your core values, with your faith values. If there is any dissonance there, then the money is not going to do for you what you think it'll do. It will not sit well with you. You're going to burn right through it. You won't be able to sleep at night. You must have that alignment in how money's coming to you. I'm gonna say how money's coming to you because sometimes I think when we say earn money, we think that it's we work hard and money's gonna come. in how money comes to you, there must be alignment. So if at your chosen vocation, if there is dissonance, if there is misalignment, you're not going to get what you think you should be getting from the money. If you're working in environments that are toxic and you're not dealing with that toxicity, you are not going to create the life you want with that money. If you are working in industries or within sectors that you do not think are either ethical or moral, or you have any hesitations about, uh, a values alignment scenario, that money is not going to do for you what you think it should. It's certainly not going to be able to fund your purpose because your values are misaligned. So, how you're earning, how you're creating pathways for money to get to you, it has to match your value system. So ensure that as you're applying for jobs, as you are thinking of, side gigs, side hustles, as you're working on your business, make sure that these pathways are in alignment so that money can flow without choking up any bottlenecks, without coming to you and you're resisting it. Number two, you need to spend with purpose. So it's really easy to just decide, well, I have all this money, let me spend it. I can say for sure that for me, when I have a lot of money, it's easy for me to lose sight of purposeful spending, because the thing is, you have it. You have it, so you're not even thinking about alternatives to how that money can be used. However, when you have a faith aligned approach to your wealth, your spending decisions are done in such a way that you are always considering your purpose as you're using your money. Now, does that mean that you only use your money to save the world? No, that's not what that means. You use your money in such a way that every dollar spent supports the realization of your purpose. What does that look like? What am I talking about? Intentional spending. I'm talking about, making sure to prioritize your housing, making sure to prioritize these elements of spending that actually move you forward, that help you to be stable, that provide stability and security for yourself. I'm also talking about the elements of spending that help support you, the person. So prioritizing these experiences that fuel you, prioritizing the experiences that give you access to opportunities, prioritizing the experiences that really take you to the place where you can serve freely. So spending is with intention is a big chunk of how you're going to integrate faith in your decision making. Make sure you're intentional about where your money goes, and that applies not just to your day to day spending, but also to ethical investing. So it's important that if you are participating in investment opportunities, and we all should be, that you are working together. For example, I recently had a conversation where I'm like, I want faith aligned partners in real estate going forward. It's great to have, just go where the money is, but it's important for me at this point to bring faith aligned partners on board so that my real estate investing is aligned. The results are just different when you have that alignment. If you're investing in the stock market and you have faith considerations in, the companies, how are they dealing? I remember not a few years ago, actually, right now, one of my clients, we were having the conversation, and it's really important that there are some social aspects that she's looking for in any companies that she invests in. And so I had to reach out to one of the portfolio managers that I typically refer clients to and say, hey, I need a portfolio built that takes into consideration the social governance aspects of the companies that we're investing in, not just the sector, not just the returns, but also allyship. What are they doing when it comes to ensuring that there is equity in their boardrooms, equity in how they serve and who they serve? These were things that were important to her. And these are things you can ask for as well. These are considerations that will allow for your stocks, your investments to be well aligned with your values and give you the confidence in knowing that your money is being multiplied through agencies that are well aligned, and that you're spending or using your money with that purpose in mind. Also, for community involvement, you're going to want to spend your money on those values, those causes that are important to you. A third way to integrate faith into your wealth journey and your financial decision making is how you give, how you make your donations is important. Now, understand, I'm going to use the word tithing here, but I'm not using the word tithe in reference to a mandatory, predetermined, you have to do this or go to hell donation to a church. That's not what I mean. I'm the believer that tithing is a reflection of a relationship, and it is an opportunity to display your trust in whoever or whatever you use as your source. So in my experience, I believe in God. And when I make a donation, when I give from the gift that's been given to me, I am saying I'm trusting you, Lord, to provide. So I don't have to hold on and grab onto every penny. I'm going to make this donation, and I'm going to do it as an expression of trust, knowing that there is more where that came from. That's one element. Another one we need to think about is how we give to charitable, I guess, companies, charitable organizations, and also how we give directly to people that who express a need. As long as there's alignment and as long as it's being done from the right place, not because you have to, but because you have a relationship with your source and you are trusting and working your purpose, then giving of your wealth is a wonderful experience. And it's another way that you can integrate your faith and your financial journey. So ask yourself perhaps the question: does my financial life as it stands right now actually reflect my faith values? The things you're doing, how you're earning, the ways that you're giving, are those in alignment? Are they because you have to, or because you genuinely have and appreciate the relationship? Or is it something else? Ask yourself whether there is that alignment. And if there isn't, or if you're not sure, here are a few daily practices that you can use to stay financially and spiritually grounded. So again, no conflict, integration, and with that integration, alignment comes and results are multiplied. First things first, whether you pray or meditate, start before you embark on making financial decisions, invite that spiritual grounding into your being. So pray, meditate, invite the powers that are greater than you are to have inputs, to give direction, and to allow you the opportunity to see clearly. Bring that in as a daily practice, not just for the huge financial decisions, but for the everyday decisions that we make with our money. We should make it a regular thing where we're asking for insight into how we use that wonderful gift that is wealth for us. Also, use faith-based affirmations when it comes to money. I've tried the whole I am a money magnet, yeah. It just does not resonate. However, when I say I am blessed to be a blessing, Oh my goodness, because that sits well with me and that allows me to integrate my purpose into the bounty that's coming my way. I am blessed to be a blessing. That just hits on all the right levels. Bringing that affirmation, my goodness, bringing that affirmation into your faith space allows it to take root and be so much easier to take hold of, to grab onto, to run with, because it's rooted in something that's already rooted in you. So make your affirmations faith based. Second, you need to set financial goals that align with your purpose and with the impact that you want to have on the world. So, aligning all of those goals with purpose. Yes, the goal might be I would like to buy a house. That's your financial goal. But tie into it, if you haven't yet, I did a few episodes back on heart goals as opposed to smart goals. So take a look at those heart goals and we'll talk about, and there you'll see how you can, create those goals to align with your values. And in this case, with your purpose and with the impact that you want to realize. And last but not least, let's engage in financial fasting if you are inspired to do so. So I know some people do, like spending holidays. You're just going to not spend for a while on this, that, and the other. What I'll invite you to do, instead of just deciding I'm going to do a spending fast just because, invite inspiration, and then, as you are led, if you see some areas where spending is no longer aligned, or spending is no longer purposeful, or we're not spending with a faith based consideration, then you can do a temporary spending fast. It helps you to refocus. It helps you to re examine how you're making spending decisions, and it helps you to bring certain things to light. The things that you were spending on that, oh my gosh, I didn't even need that. And the things that you probably were not spending on that are coming up for you and saying, but this would actually be a fantastic way to use our money. So, faith driven wealth, it's really about peace. It's about alignment. It's about purpose. It's not just about accumulating money left and right in this, that, and the other. Wealth that is faith rooted, it really creates wonderful outcomes, great results, and it is impactful, it is aligned with our values, and it feels real good. It feels really, really good as you walk through life and this wealth journey. So, just to recap quickly, faith driven wealth is possible. It is not just possible, it is highly probable. And it's not just highly probable for someone who has lived with conflict around faith and finances for the longest time. I can tell you that faith driven wealth is highly desirable. So let's do a quick recap as I bring this all together for you. Faith and finances work together when we approach money with integrity, with purpose, and with generosity. So, here's what I'd like for you to do after having listened to this episode. One, let's reflect on one area of your finances where you want to bring in more faith, where you want to no longer be afraid, where you want to step boldly, where you want to have an impact. What's one area where you want to see your faith actually become sight, and the results of your entire experience will be purpose driven, well balanced. It will be for your good and for the glory of your spiritual source. Also, what I'd love for you to do is to share this episode with someone who may be having a similar conflict as you, or who needs encouragement through a challenge or through a season that they're going through right now. And finally, I want to tell you about Even as My Soul Prospers. This program is designed to help you integrate your faith and your finances. And there's lots more we can share about this. I want you to click the link in the description to learn more. Finally, I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you that wealth isn't just about what is in your bank. It is about how aligned your money is with your faith and your purpose. No more conflict. Bring it all together and experience the difference that aligned faith and finances bring. Go out there, everyone. Live your faith driven wealth experience, and I will see you on the other side. Take care until next time. Thank you for joining me today on Catalyst Conversations. I hope this episode sparked something powerful to help on your journey to building wealth confidently and unapologetically. If you loved today's conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if something resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep moving toward your goals, stay empowered, and continue sparking change on your wealth journey. This is Hadriana, and you've been listening to Catalyst Conversations.